Well, July 7th was Daniel's court date, and it's been adjourned again. The new release that just came out 10 minutes ago. Let me give you the breakdown. A long process of evidence disclosure caused Daniel Martell's charges of SA, assault, and forcible confinement to be adjourned for a second time. The stepfather of missing children, Jack and Lilly Sullivan, didn't appear in Pick 2 Provincial Court today. "We're still going through disclosure. There's quite a bit," said his lawyer, Nicholas Hune. "We haven't yet received the full disclosure." Crown Prosecutor Bill Gorman said he's still going through the evidence and attributed his request for adjournment to Stinchcombe obligations. Now, the 1991 Supreme Court of Canada ruling in R.V. Stinchcombe set the standard for Crown evidence disclosure. It requires that the Crown provide to the defense all of its evidence and pertinent information, including any police interviews or other information collected that may cast doubt on the accused's guilt. Martell is scheduled to make a plea to the charges on September 3rd. A publication ban prohibits releasing the name of the alleged victim. But we can still talk all about the situation in the case. Oh, yeah. Jack and Lilly Sullivan captured the world's attention when they went missing on May 2nd, 2025. This from the Lansdowne Station Pictou County home of Martell, and the one which he shared with their mother. Jack was 4 years old and Lilly was 6 at the time of their disappearance. Despite a weeks-long search of the forest and lakes by hundreds of volunteers, RCMP dive teams and dog units, the children have not been found. An extensive police investigation has not yet led to clues about what happened to them. How do you know that? Warrant documents unsealed last August showed an exhaustive investigation that included polygraph tests of the children's immediate family, checking of banking information and electronic communications, search histories and GPS coordinates of cell phones, pumping and searching the contents of area septic systems, and collecting video from private cameras within an 8-kilometer radius, as well as businesses, school buses, and the Copaquid Pass toll booth. There's over 5,000 videos and photos. Over 670 witnesses were interviewed. The investigation went further, but large portions of it were redacted to avoid interfering in the ongoing RCMP effort. And I'm going to give a shout out to Anita and Mike right now. I've went over the information from your live stream. What was it, 2 days ago? The one that's on your screen right now. And if you can believe this, every time that Anita goes to say something, details to explain something, her Wi-Fi cuts in and out. And I'm telling you, I'm an hour in. You guys have been explaining the situation with this house, and it makes very little sense. Not because you're not explaining it, but because every time you go to explain the important parts, if you will, your Wi-Fi cuts in and out, and it's a complete waste. So, I mean, you probably never went back and listened to it, but there's no information being shared here. You're talking all about this, but nobody knows why or how it's relevant or what got you there. Just that you're driving with Cindy at some point, and you go into this house near Salt Spring Island, and you found a meth pipe and some pop cans and some beer cans in the bush. You need to tie all of this in and be clear about it, or else it just makes no sense. And like I said, it has nothing to do. I think Mike was the communication between Mike and Anita in this was disrupted somehow. And it wasn't like she was purposefully leaving something out. So the moral of all of this is the next time that you go live, you can please go and express it or explain it as to what in the hell you're talking about in this, because it's almost not worth watching. unfortunately. And it's not like it's a consistent basis. Like, it's not like it was scratchy. It's just in 3 or 4 points across the entirety of the video. And each one of those points just happened to be the details which you were tying it all together. So as for the listener, we got absolutely nothing out of it. It's a waste of time, other words. So please, Mike and Anita, go back and talk about this particular video. And it started off just peachy keen with them talking about Hayden and his this history with a screenshot from Wade Paris. Talking about Hayden and the probabilities of him doing substances while at Patty's. And eventually it gets all the way up to this story. They talked about Leo's list. But Anita, you're spending so much time on back and forth conversations that you had with somebody else during that time. Nobody can relate to it. Nobody can understand it. Focus on why you feel it was important, not what Cindy was saying to you or if she said yes to your question. Nobody cares about that irrelevant information. I love you and all, but you spent more time focused on information that nobody can really put 2 and 2 together, specifically because of your particular Wi-Fi connection. In other Anita news, I did find really interesting her conversation about what this additional details, from her perspective anyway, what the additional evidence was for these charges that Daniel is facing in court. And she was talking about these trio of individuals at work, and she was making it out to be that Danny may be trying to sell or brag about his conquests, his RAPE conquests that he was filming. And I guess maybe he's trying to sell it or distribute it to other people at work. Now, could you imagine how stupid Daniel is? He's dumb AF. But I can't see, maybe he was. I can't say here if he was engaged in all of this, but somehow she knows or thinks that she knows for her own reasons. I want to know those reasons. And she wasn't very clear about it in the video. However, I think she was trying to tie it into, it would attest to why they had extra or more evidence against Daniel, because of what they gathered from the people at the mill that he used to work at with Jordan, a couple doors down from him in Westville. I mean, it's possible. How she would know that, I don't know. But if he was doing that, it's probably well known or talked about around there, especially with people who didn't like it. If somebody comes up to you and is trying to whether friend troll you or try to sell you something, oh, look at what I got. You into prawn? Are you into prawn, bro? Dude, you get knocked out. You come up to somebody and start pushing prawn on them like you're some sort of spam message from the internet, like a pop-up ad. Daniel Martell is like a walking pop-up ad for grape porn. Oh my God. That's what she was making it out to be. And I'm not laughing at her because of it or it's ridiculous. I'm just laughing at the absurdity. But maybe Fruitcake Danny thinks he's just on the level with everybody, and it's just such a super thing to do. It's usually it's something that you would want to keep your identity hidden in that sense. You don't want to be distributing illegal material. And if you were making such material, you would know that, hey, this just isn't a family-oriented video I'm distributing here. So whether or not this is true and she's not pressing as though it's true. She's just, she's going off course. She's brainstorming in that sense. She's trying to put two and two together. But I mean, we know Danny's a dirty dog. So in long and short, she's saying that perhaps the extra evidence being submitted isn't physical, like a video or pictures. Or maybe I should rephrase that. It is physical. It's a video or pictures, and the one that he was distributing to the people at work because of the conversation that she was having with police back in January, telling them to go to Daniel's work and ask them all about it. Well, take it for what it is. I mean, don't base it off solely how she tries to explain it, because it seems a little bizarre to me to begin with. Now, it doesn't mean that somebody didn't rat on them. Maybe somebody saw it, took exception to it. She says that there's one person in there that really didn't like it. How she knows all of that, I don't know. Okay, I'm not turning sour on her or skeptical. It's just, it's hard to determine what's your brainstorm, because you really don't like to talk into detail about why it is that you think. And of course, she's trying to protect sources of her information or people that she talks about. Understood. Then you got to rephrase it in a way that doesn't lead the listener astray. Please. Anyway. So long story short about this extra evidence, which would be interesting to know what it is. They probably know inside the courtroom. And yeah, you can talk all about it. You can't talk about the information, or you can't talk about what Janie loves to do, and it's associating the victim of these charges into being MBM. You just got to stay away from that, which is fine. We still want to know about all of the information. We still want to know about what the charges are and the story behind them. So it's interesting that she brings it up. She's probably down the right path, is what I'm saying. She's on the right track. What possibly could be the extra information, or all of the information? That investigation into these charges is interesting. It's interesting to me right now, because it seems to be so way back in March, they had to put every appearance off because of the Crown bringing forth, the RCMP and Crown bringing forth more information on Daniel. And it happened again today. Now, I can't sit here and tell you that there was more information submitted. It could be that the information that they submitted way back in May is not giving them enough time to form a proper, or giving them enough time to formulate a proper defense to whatever they're bringing in. And they're just asking for a holdover here till September again. So this particular video, which was up 3 days ago, is interesting. It's really interesting. But again, you guys might have to go through it again because of all the important spots along the way. 4, I counted 4 and then stopped counting. Because it frustrates to listen, because Anita gets too quiet and then it's gone. Her voice is gone, then comes back again, gone. Her connection, her Wi-Fi connection is not good. Okay, we can't understand what the hell she's talking about, and then it starts off on these long, these long rants or discussions about something that you have no idea. So it's really a waste of time to sit there and listen and talk about it for that long period if nobody knows why the hell you're talking about it in the first place. And it's not because you were trying to protect identifications. It had to do with the bad Wi-Fi. You were mentioning it. So everything that you're talking about, you can probably put down in a synopsis or a brief breakdown on your next upload, please. Because now that I'm 2 hours in, I want to know exactly why you were up there at this school, okay? I want to know why you were poking around the bush with Cindy. Like, I don't remember you ever mentioning this before. Anyway, good day, guys.